more of the stress because they're more open and more sensitive. And so then you'll have kids and the kids are running around and they're screaming, right? And they're just, that's the way they're dealing with the stress in their life is, you know, the amount of activity, up, go get it, go get it. The amount of activity that they have also with their bodies, like physical activity, is really part of that release of the stress that's built up. And with adults, you know, the problem with adults is that with the way that we've set up the world, adults don't get enough exercise. And so you end up with a lot of stress in the family where it's coming from the adults, not the kids so much. The kids are just open and they're feeling that and they're having to try to clear that energy out. Now, this is, again, coming from my yogic experience as a yoga teacher for 30 years, you know, that this is an issue, you know, and walking around the lake is not enough to clear your amount of stress, especially with people who have so much stress built up from years and years and years and years and years of having not taken care of themselves, of probably pursuing, you know, having a family. And then once you have a family, you got to work your butt off to pay for everything. And a lot of the time, you know, just like myself, I thought I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, you know, but then I end up, luckily I'm a yoga teacher, so I get a lot of exercise. But I didn't get to stay with my daughter like I wanted. I wanted to stay home with her, like for her, at least the first 5 years of her life. That didn't happen. So I think it's important that we understand that there's a reason for these, you know, adults carrying so much stress. Yeah, of course, they're carrying a heavy burden. And a lot of the time they're doing it for the family and they're thinking that maybe that will be resolved in the years to come once the kids are grown up enough. They're in college or they're at least in high school. So it becomes a less of a challenge. Of course, then you've got them in college and that's also another stress, is just once they're out of high school. But I think the ultimate is those of us who are, you know, focused on this kind of thing is like we're body workers and healers and, you know, like we're health coaches and, you know, we're focused really on getting adults to get more exercise. But I was beginning this way because of, as you can hear right now, you know, PC crows like mad when she comes here when there's a lot of people here. But when there aren't a lot of people, she's not crowing. She's completely, like, I say she, but that's because I know her as a she. But PC crows when there's stress. It's a way that she clears the air. Of course, there's all kinds of other, you know, you could say, theories about why they crow. I mean, yes, predators. Of course, if you feel stress, you might see that as an attack or a predator, you know. Like someone who with a lot of stress may seem very aggressive, right? So you would see that as kind of a, you know, like an attack of some sort. And so I think it's important to understand that. And yet at the same time, like these practices, you know, you go take a walk around the lake, you go and, you know, you've been having Christmas food for days, leftovers, heavy food. You're not getting enough exercise. The whole, you know, area, the whole country, pretty much the whole world is shut down because of, you know, this crazy pandemic. And then you have on top of that, when you have that much stress and then you have stress with it, families not getting enough money that they need because they can't even work and small businesses are closed down, all that, then you got a very thick and heavy weight of negative energy to deal with, right? And so, you know, you've got to get perspective on it when you're making any kind of an assumption or making some kind of I'd say like an assessment of the situation, right? So one of the things that I was just going to go over is that, yeah, you cannot ever excuse people for using their negative stress in a negative way. Like I was going on with earlier about how, you know, my mother is, you know, with cancer. I've been helping her to heal at this extended stay place. And so I'm making her all her food and stuff. But then there just happens to be this really creepy old guy that like stands by her car and smokes like every morning. And is like looking to see up in the bathroom to see if he can like see somebody taking a shower or like nude women. Just a really creepy, perverted old man, you know. And that adds to the stress of the whole thing because, you know, you're dealing with not only mom, you know, needing her everything she needs, which is tons and tons of things. She's very, very dependent at this time. And then on top of that, you've got all this other stuff, right? You've got to deal with these crazy kook, pervert, old perverted men, which is really disgusting. It just adds to the stress. So I wanted, why I'm bringing that up again is like those of us who are actually actively focused on being extremely active with our lives, like we have been very active for many, 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 many years. We've spent most of our time like children, like getting a lot of physical activity, eating a really healthy diet, all that, keeping ourselves fit. When you look at the United States, you have massive, massive numbers of people with obesity. They don't care about exercise. And the internet has not helped with that, in any form. Like the internet has made it a lot worse, actually. Let me just, hold on. Hold on. I'm seeing if these guys have a dog. Do you guys have a dog? Okay, I have 2 birds down here that have alerted me. If you want to just walk past, just keep your dog really close. Thank you. So as I was saying, the reason, one of the things that I keep with my vlogs is I keep it really, really simple. It's okay. They're gonna, they know, okay? It's okay, PC. Is that I don't filter it, right? I just keep it all in there, unless I have someone who I accidentally videotape or something. But what I was bringing up is that, when you're young, you have a lot of activity, like kids, they're just very, very physically active. They're doing all kinds of fun things. And that really keeps a lot of the stress away. But then when you end up with, a lot of stresses and, Daphne, oh gosh. Okay, it's okay, you guys. We'll figure it out. So I'm just gonna chase him along here. Come on, guys. I'll go back to you guys in just a minute. I'm just gonna deal with the situation. PC, why don't you just fly up? Fly up, PC. Fly up, no. Okay, I'm gonna just... Yeah, just a second, hold on.